Good evening, everyone. Hopefully, you're having a good one. We are jumping into the markets today with a special overview of the machine. So, it's been a little bit since we went through some of the new exciting things that we've been adding to the machine. And then also, if you're new to the channel, we've had a lot of new faces, new people coming in recently. And so every once in a while, I like to give you guys a deep dive into exactly what we're getting done inside of Prophecy. And so, Prophecy AI overview that most investors are getting access to tools that haven't yet existed in the markets or have been really, really hard to access until today. And so, I'm excited to jump in with a breakdown today of not only the new things that we have added, but we're also going to jump in with the full breakdown of things that most investors are missing about using AI today in your portfolio. So, using AI in your portfolio. Okay. So, first thing, want to pull up here. So, we got Prophecy AI, and I'm going to give you guys a breakdown of how this works. I see people in the chat, and hopefully the internet's okay. Everything has been a little bit off today with the internet. Can you guys hear me? You guys see me okay? Let me know. All is good, all is clear. You guys can see this presentation here. And again, we had power outages. It was affecting us this morning. So let me know if you guys can hear me, see me okay. Audio is okay. It's not skipping or anything like that. Please do let me know in the chat. All right. So how are we doing? Let's see. Let's see what we got going. Okay. Big day in the markets today. We saw a lot of green over in the data center market. Oil and gas was doing very well. Things are looking green there. Lee is here. Ali is here. All right, we got Rich here as well. Ooh, is it choppy with the audio? Oh no. Yeah, the internet, if you guys are seeing chop, it's just one little problem. It hasn't been that the internet is slow. In fact, Starlink has been amazing. But what's been going on recently is that the power has been going in and out here in the foothills of California. They're prepping for fire season, I guess, and they're like replacing a lot of poles. And so they like turn the power off. I don't know if you guys know. So if it's too bad, just let me know. Is my voice chopping? Is the screen chopping too much? Let me know here. Can you guys see the screen here? Flip a switch that puts your analysis on 100% autopilot so you can just sit back, let the models land profitable stocks in your watch list. Everybody see the screen and can hear me all good, or is it just too choppy with my voice? If so, we can pick up at another time if it's not working. Ali says choppy. Is there any improvement? How's the audio? You guys hear me okay? Let's see here if everybody's able to hear. Rich says, Will, had a disappointing call today. Probably good if we had a chat. Okay. You had a difficult or disappointing call? Everything all good? Lee, sound is great. Awesome. Okay, you can't hear me. Screen is freezing in and out. Oof. All right. Well, we're going to continue on. We'll keep going here. Lee, I think you've already seen some of this. That's what's exciting. Some people have not seen this. I'm looking forward to jumping in. Let's get into it. All right. So, for those of you guys tuned in, I mean, we're growing really fast. We got over 30,000 subscribers here on YouTube. We've been getting tremendous testimonials lately. We've had multiple investors that have passed the $1 million mark. We've had some investors that have been able to either crack 100K or just grow well above where they're already at in the $1 million mark. And we've had a lot of people see tremendous gains. As a result, I've been able to meet some really cool people, whether it's been traveling where I got to meet Jack Selby there from the Iced Coffee Hour, or I've been able to, get a ride in Ricky Gutierrez's GTR. That's really fun. I have a GTS that is a Celica, a Toyota Celica. It's an older car. It's more of like the Fast and Furious. It's not like a super expensive car, but it's super fast. I love to drive that thing. But also, one of the things that turned out to be the best decisions as we continue to grow is, I don't know if you guys have seen recently, Robinhood ads. As we've grown a lot, one thing that we've heard from brokerages that have reached out and that want to work with us, or that I work with personally, is that they really like the straight up approach where we do our full due diligence of the financials, the news, the technicals, and going through all the different market sectors and how the rotations are happening, and also emerging markets before a lot of people are maybe talking about them, or giving full analysis so that everybody's talking about them. But what is the truth, or what do you need to know about these markets? That's where we come in, and that's what we do here. And hopefully that's been helpful for you and you've gotten value out of that here as well. So here's why most investors struggle right now. Number one, stock analysis as we know it. The normal stock finding system looks something like this. You track and monitor, you build a watch list, build the watch list, and you track and monitor. You may build the list, and it goes through these steps: building the list, picking the stock, checking the charts, checking the news, analyze the financials, determine the profit opportunity, buy the stock, refresh, and repeat. How many of you guys have been through this process right here multiple times, if not dozens of times, maybe even hundreds of times? Maybe some of you have gone through this exact process thousands of times. I know how I have gone through this process thousands of times. Build a list of the stocks, you pick the stocks, you check the charts, you check the news, analyze the financials, determine the profit opportunity, buy the stock, refresh, and repeat. Now, there's obviously some other steps, but that's generally what you go through in order to buy a new stock. So until now, analysis automation has been designed to focus almost exclusively on just finding stocks, or doing all of the analysis on your own manually. It's a technical analysis, right? You have to learn how to draw charts. You have to learn how to do, what's good news, what's bad news. You have to learn how to differentiate from manipulation to really quality companies. A lot of it's this like learned skill that's very manual and is difficult to apply to many, many different stocks. So what you'll see in this presentation today, and some of you are here right now so excited because you're realizing that these processes are actually becoming, gosh, it's kind of like if you decided forever you wanted to um, fly a plane, but planes were, let's say the plane you wanted was 500,000 or $1 million or millions of dollars. But then recently they've come out with planes that you can actually easily afford, and you don't have to have a license, and it's safe, and it can even fly you. I mean, imagine if that's the case. That's what's happening in my eyes with what's happening with AI. Because what you'll see in this presentation today is a radical movement towards technology that's filling in the gaps just beyond finding stocks, and was 100% designed to help you stop re-researching. So overanalyzing is one of the top investor mistakes, and getting too caught up in the noise so much that they miss a key event or catalyst oftentimes leads to failure. And that brings us today with the world debut of the machine. So analyzing stocks normally takes technology plus human skill. This is very, very common, but imagine if you could automate the technology and eliminate human skill. What if you could get the software to do it all for you so you can wake up to deals? When I show you this chart here, it shows you a future projection. What if you could wake up to this? What the stock is worth, the likely value over the next month, and actually know that this right here is a full analysis. So what does Prophecy AI model actually do? What do the Prophecy AI models actually do? So number one, AI-driven models are not meant to just pick stocks. but analyze markets with the precision of Wall Street, the discipline of billionaires, and the speed of supercomputers so you don't have to. See, we use processes and systems, and this is what you'll see with most hedge funds and most institutions that are very, very repeatable. And AI models, what they do is exactly this: multi-layered analysis. So the big picture here and the details. So multi-layered analysis scans global market trends, the sector flows, the economic data, dives deep into company fundamentals, revenue, growth, profitability, cash flow, and debt, and evaluates the competitive moat and management quality. It also assesses the current valuation. Is it underpriced? Is it overpriced? Or is it a screaming opportunity? So you don't have to read endless reports, earnings calls, news. The model does all of the heavy lifting for you. So what the model goes through and does within seconds is it actually scans all the global markets. It looks at the economic data. It's looking at the revenue, the financials, and evaluating all those things for you while you are, drinking your coffee, while you are getting ready to go to the gym and you're busy, but you have to get things together before you leave, or while you are at the pool or hanging out with your kids and you don't have time, but you need to get the full analysis, or while you are in school in between class and you have to get the analysis done right now so you can see where things are moving throughout the day. And so we also, in our models, track institutional money. So the smart money moves. Um, the buying and selling of top hedge funds, mutual funds, and institutional giants. So we flag when big money is quietly accumulating or dumping shares. We look at volume, the block trades, and the ETF inclusion. And for you, one of the things that's really important about this is you're not really guessing of whether or not big institutions are buying or selling, because our model is watching all the giants, so you don't have to. Number 4, real-time signals and actionable alerts. So this instantly detects changes in momentum, sentiment, and technical patterns, and develops flagging of earnings, surprises, major news, and price breakouts before the crowd catches on. Now, the amazing piece is that a lot of these data points I just went through with you guys is, yes, you get the right info at the right time and you're not spending hours glued to your screen, but what does that really mean? Well, this is data that is then given to the AI models. So it's not just that you have this data and then you're able to make a better decision. You get this data and then you have to be able to take action with the data. And that's where we take the thousands of data points and we move them into very, very clear signals that are outputted from the best AIs in the world. So that gives you more conviction without analysis paralysis or emotional bias. There's zero bias. What we're doing is we're plugging in the best data points that AI models otherwise don't have, so that you are using real-time data with those models from sources that they otherwise don't have. So it could be, the SEC filing, sure, but what about the dark pool data? What about the tuning of the models that they've done thousands of projections? These are things that really make a difference. When I used to use, how many of you guys have used like ChatGPT? Let me know in the comments, or you've used like Claude or Gemini or something like that. What's really cool about using those is that you can get answers very quickly. And sometimes it knows a little bit about, what happened today or a little bit about the market movements. But what has been lacking, and I think it's one of the biggest things, is number one, tracking falsifiability. So falsifiability means being able to know whether or not data has been proven wrong or right. Okay, so you can actually work with it. It's like if you keep doing something, but you never know when it's not performing or when it's performing good or how accurate it is, then there's almost no reason to do it, right? It makes sense to measure it. And so what we've been doing is not only measuring it, but we've also been bringing in new data sources to put into the models to make sure that they're fully getting the full x-ray, the picture of what's happening in the markets. So you get world-class analysis delivered in plain English, so you can invest like the pros without being one. And in one click, any stock, you know why it's moving. What are the driving factors? So we've been noticing a trend. Technology is advancing and it's changing the game and in making stock investing easier. And our journey towards building the machine behind Prophecy AI started a year ago with one very simple question. The question was, could we build an automated software that would find StockMate users more stocks that end up as profitable deals than our users were finding on their own? So for those of you guys that aren't familiar, we have something called StockMate, and I go live there almost every single morning. I have about 98% attendance, and I'm late about 7% of the time. It's a live session that I do right at market open every day at Monday through Friday, right when the market's open. And when it comes to the live sessions in StockMate, I get to work with hundreds of investors on and off and throughout many different sectors, and I get a boots on the ground approach into many different portfolios where I could see a lot of different portfolios. And every time I go into a new portfolio, there's a few things that we look at. Number one, we might look at what markets they're invested in, that they're not overexposed in one market, but they're still yielding returns from the best markets. The other thing we might look at is how they're feeling mentally. Like, how is it? Do they have a solid approach where they feel good about what they're in, or does it feel very haphazard? They're all over the place. And then number three, are the profits that they're getting sustainable, and is it steady for them? So when they make profits, they actually keep them. Now, all those things could be, that's pretty good, but all those things really come down to a checklist and a repeatable system that I go through with each stock. And you guys may have heard it here on the channel. It's going to be the market. So that would be real world usage plus the actual financials of that market. Then the analysis, meaning the technicals, the news, and the financials. And then the actual profit opportunity, meaning like how much risk to how much reward, just looking at the risk to reward ratio. And so those things are very effective, and they've served me and thousands of investors very well, especially as we've seen more growth in many different markets that come out very fast. Having that system to do that analysis means you could get analysis done more systematically and get it done. But the question is here is, we wanted to do this research and development project, and this is what actually birthed Prophecy AI. Asking that question was just the first step in our journey towards creating Prophecy. So I'll explain everything here and how that answer affects your success. So as we first released the machine, we started off with this thing called the market network. Very basic, but essentially allows you to visualize different markets, see where markets are emerging. And the idea behind the machine market view was pretty simple. See how you have these connections, so you can actually see individual markets. Click on the market, and you can actually see the smaller companies in those markets, how they're connected, and the individual micro and sub markets in each big market that are emerging. So like, let's take an example. Someone say a market in the chat. Comment one of your favorite markets right now in the chat. Let's break it down. So you guys can understand how we're really approaching this. Okay. Awesome. Comment in the chat. I want to see what markets are the top markets that you're watching right now or you are invested in. Let me know. Let's get into it. I see Johnny is here. What's going on, Johnny? Good to see you. And Johnny's already a user of Prophecy. So is Lee. And so is Ali. So this is really exciting. We got some users here of our software, which is cool. Comments, what markets are you watching right now? Ali says data centers. Okay, data centers. So when we say data center markets, what's important about the data center market? Well, you have these multi-markets inside of the data center market. The first market to watch in data centers might be the actual infrastructure, the construction. The second market might be your semiconductors, so the underlying GPUs that are powering the data center market. You also might look at the configuration, so the building of the data center, let's say the cables, the electrical, the configuration of the computers. Then you might have a market for cooling. That's a whole industry, right? Cooling of the data centers. And then you might have a company that focuses purely on the actual like blue collar construction, right? The actual outside of the building. And then you might have the company that focuses in racking systems. Racking systems are going to be broken down into more markets. And so my point is a lot of times you have these micro markets that are growing really fast. I'll give you an example. How many of you guys have ever invested in a company because you saw that they were going to see higher returns because they were serving a bigger company that had strong demand and was relying on the smaller company? And of you guys, I'll give you an example. When I was working in construction in 2019, 2020, I remember this. My dad was a general contractor. I'd never worked for him, but I always used to like build houses and stuff, like the house we're in right now. I did all the walls, I did all stuff like that. It was very good skill to be learning when I was young. But I was also always fascinated with stocks and got into stocks very, very young as well. But I remember I was like, man, I don't want to break my back over this stuff. And for a very long time, I was buying Nvidia. And the reason why I was buying Nvidia into like 2017 to 2021, 2022 was because they were powering Tesla. They were powering Google. Now, nobody really talked about Nvidia at that time. But if you knew the smaller markets of these big companies that were flourishing and what companies were making it possible for those companies to succeed, then you immediately had an advantage. Now, it might not have showed up right away. In fact, it's kind of discouraging. Sometimes you have this clear thesis and it can take a long time. But then, after just consistently trading and consistently learning it and also investing it for the long term, one day I look up and our investment is over 10x just in a matter of a few years. And it's all because we had the patience and we had a huge payoff, and it wasn't that long of a time horizon. But it really wasn't that long, 3 years. And so the idea behind the market view here in the machine was pretty simple. Here's how it works. And this is super important. The new opportunities that the market view has weren't these just random stocks. The system used predictive analytics and motivation targeting to find stocks that were likely to grow in the segment of the market that you were already searching. So imagine the trail of opportunity that you could discover. So how did we do? And the simple answer is great. And I see JP says, those who own energy, the picks and the shovels. Nice. Yeah. So we found that the market view stocks grew at a higher percentage than the non-market view deals for average investors. And that showed us that we were on track and that we could move towards the next step in our R&D project. And this brought us face to face with a much more difficult problem to solve. Instead of just getting more markets or finding those individual markets, we wanted to know if we could create software that would produce not only a picture of those markets and expand on that picture on autopilot, but also a picture of the company and be able to expand on the company on autopilot. So to do this, we needed software, and the software needed to be smart enough to do things that traditionally required a ton of knowledge, years of experience, and skills to analyze stocks. Claude says, prophecy. That's right, prophecy. And we're getting into it. I'm really excited to show you how it works. So it needed to act like me, it needed to do the research, and it needed to do it faster than me. So it needed to act like me, but it needed to be doing it even faster. And so promise me, if you get nothing from my presentation and from our time together today, promise me you'll get this one thing. Whether you're doing the analysis on your own or you're relying on the 100x YouTuber or the Redditors or the TikTokers to do analysis for you, you no longer need to actually spend years learning every nuance of stock analysis and investing in order to succeed. That's right. It's changing. The whole game is changing. Everything that you thought you needed to learn is changing. It's just like the shift where people aren't as in demand for development. How many of you guys have heard about the development? Like a lot of people are unemployed from development. Anybody know why? Anybody know why skyscrapers are empty? A lot of skyscrapers are empty. Here's a big reason. And Elon Musk was quoted saying this, that anything that can be done in a spreadsheet is now being done by AI. Picture that. Anything that can be done in a spreadsheet can now be done with AI. So we created software that combined my 10 plus years of stock investing experience with an open perspective to all the newest and most powerful AI models in the world to do the right things for you, whether you know to do them or not. So the future of stock analysis automation might look something like this. You have the, let's say $5,400 is what you would come out with after a year of investing in the S&P 500 with $5,000. Whereas in my experience, I was able to turn that same $5,000 into $29,000 investing, for example, in a stock like Nvidia. Now there's other stocks, and this is an old screenshot, and there's other companies who've had much better returns even since in the data center market, for example. But the point is, you could do this here, either doing recurring, tracking stocks from the market view, all the way through to a complete analysis. And you can do this right now through with returns that are focused on individual stocks. Now, here's the thing. What I've learned is nothing is guaranteed. Okay. And so if you guys don't know who I am, my name is Will. If you're just tuning in for the first time, I live near Tahoe at the base of the Sierra Nevada mountains, just outside Silicon Valley. Been married to my beautiful bride for just about 3 years. We've actually been on our 4th year now. And we have some exciting news I'm going to be sharing with you guys soon as well. More on that later. But we love to travel. And one of the things that I found in wanting to travel and also wanting to invest profitably was that it was still taking a ton of my time. I needed to automate my time. Otherwise, in order to live this lifestyle of going to Yosemite or going to, recently the Caribbean, or going to, let's say, South America, or going to even New York, working with brokerages, I still want to keep up with my portfolio and take advantage of the big growth markets that are starting to emerge, these small growth markets, I could say, that are becoming big very fast in the AI markets. So in order to do that, here we are. Stock analysis AI automation is coming. You can flip the switch, let the machine run, wake up to deals every single day. Okay. So let's move from find stocks and show you how the Prophecy app gets you deals on autopilot, whether you're working or not. And as we get ready to demo here, I want you guys to understand this. If you want to analyze a stock with ChatGPT, not only can you do that, and it will be fairly good, but it also is going to be way faster in a lot of senses than doing all of the analysis on your own. Now, the problem could be that they don't have the best data. They don't have the best news. You might even be able to go uncover some news on your own better than what's considered on just ChatGPT. You might be able to go uncover some transactions, some other alternative data sources. Maybe you're going and looking at some satellite images. Maybe you're looking at some recent launches in the rocket market. You're looking at some of the news in Iran that's brand new, that could give you a little bit more data that this ChatGPT might not understand or might not have access to. And there's a lot of these ChatGPTs. How many of you guys have seen all of the battles happening in the AI markets? So we have ChatGPT, Meta, Grok, Google, DeepSeek, Claude, all of these things. Okay? And ChatGPT, Meta, Grok, Google, DeepSeek, Claude all come out with new models almost every single week, damn near every day. It's insane. Have you guys seen how many new models are coming out? You have the Meta models that just came out. They just recently started doubling down and moving faster. You had Claude just came out. Even since the screenshot, it says Opus 4. They're at 4.7. Right? These are moving fast. And so my point is, if you want to analyze a stock with these models, then you're going to find yourself having to go back and forth to find the best ones, and they're constantly battling. Some are becoming superior, and then some are lagging. And not to mention, they come at a pretty hefty price. The Pro for ChatGPT is $200 a month. Haven't looked at Meta's recently, so I don't know where it's at. I don't have the screenshot there, but I imagine it's getting up there. Grok is $300 per month. Google is $249 per month. And Max from Claude is $200 per month. Okay. And someone just says down below, and this is great, Superstar says, if analyzing a stock with LLM is your edge, then you have no edge. That's true. 100%. Totally true. And the reason why, it's true is because these models alone, while they're really fast, they don't have the data and the institutional grade analysis needed for the models to be highly accurate. And not only that, these models don't actually know how they're performing on their own. They don't know how they're performing on their own. It's a really good point. And so that's why we developed Prophecy. So let's get into the demo here. Okay. So let's start things off here. So when you go to Prophecy, you're going to notice a couple things. All right. First thing to notice about going to Prophecy is you're going to see that our goal is to give you the ability to view the future of any stock with the best models in the world, whether it's ChatGPT Pro, Gemini Ultra, it could be Super Grok Heavy, what we just showed you, or Claude. And our goal is to not only get the best models in the world for you, but pair them with institutional grade analysis and allow you to easily access them and use them on the go in a few simple clicks. So let's go through it. Are you guys ready? Comment the word ready if you're ready to jump in, and I'm going to show you exactly how this works. You guys see how this could save you a lot of time? And these companies are the number one in the world, yes, but there's just one thing that they lack. Number one, once they ship, you could be stuck using the older version of them for far longer than you should. Kind of like how a BlackBerry used to ship, and you might be using a BlackBerry and they can't change the numbers or the buttons on the BlackBerry, right? You gotta order a new BlackBerry. That's why when the iPhone came out, it just absolutely crushed because they got the touchscreen. When there's an update, you just update. So we make sure that all of the latest models that are powering your financial machine are the latest and greatest. So whether that's, the latest new model that came out with GPT 5.5 or Claude 4.7 or Grok or what have you, we're auto updating with the latest models, and you're not paying that premium monthly subscription that you have to pay when you use, one of those individually. I see a ready in the chat. Say it like you mean it, guys. Let's go. Let's jump in. Let's get into it. Ready, ready, ready. Here we are. All right. So Goldman Sachs might not want you to uncover In fact, they might want what you're about to uncover, which is full-fledged analysis paired with these best models in the world. So what you can do is you can actually click here that you have this search bar, and I can talk to this search bar if I want. I can actually, say something like, what's going on with Big Bear, or what's going on with APLD today, or what have you, and it will give me the full breakdown. Alejandro says ready. Let's go, Alejandro. And you got Meta and Gemini to choose from with OpenAI and Claude. And I can actually select this model right now, and it's going to use that model in the analysis. So I have Claude's selected. I can also select another big one that has recently been added is Meta. Let's add the Meta model here. So you see this? All I did was just select my model. And now I can click one of our recent or drag one of our recent into the bar, or I can search any ticker symbol. So what ticker symbol are we going to search? You can see some of my recently searched here. Big Bear AI, we got some auto completion of recent searches here. See some breaking news happening as well today. What ticker symbols should we search right now? All right, let's do it. Let's do it. What's the ticker symbol that we're going to search as we get started here? Okay. Well, I'm just going to pick one. Let's see. Live chats maybe take a little bit. As I mentioned, the internet's a little bit slow maybe here because of power outages, things like that. So I'm just going to select one. I don't see any tickers. I'm going to select. Ooh, I've been looking at APLD. All right, here we are. So the first thing you'll notice is I have this setup. Now my setup is unique to me. And the specialization that we give you here, you'll notice it's all custom. So you can create a view that suits your needs. Now you do have a default one that I've created, but we'll create a new one here so you can kind of see. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to actually click in the top right corner. And why don't I just search IREN since Alejandro says IREN, or actually Ali says APLD already. Alejandro will get there. So maybe that's the second one. But as you can tell, we have the top right corner where you can see the future chart. Now what's new about this is I can add a new panel. So let's create a new panel. And I'm just gonna call this my, I'm gonna call this my automatic panel or something, because I can get some automatic analysis. And I'm gonna just click the top right plus icon, and I'm gonna add in the widgets that I want to be used for this view. So the first thing I might add here is gonna be a future chart. That's one of my favorite widgets, and it gives me a very clear projection for either the next week, I can do the next 3 months, the next 6 months, and I can actually control it up top because all the widgets are going to be on the same time frame. These are future projections. Then I can actually click in, let's do support and resistance here, or let's do a breakout. Let's do a breakout and breakdown. The levels at which a stock breaks out and breaks down. There we go. So I'm cool with that. Even zoom in a little bit. There we go. And I'm just gonna add one more. I'm thinking a congressional trading, or let's do a top transactors. Top transactors. So I can see the top institutions buying and selling, and I can also see the recent insiders that are buying and selling. Okay. All right. So are you guys ready? I'm going to show you how I'm going to use this. So first off, right now I have actionable analysis. Now, do you notice how I'm not staring at a chart? I could stare at a chart. I could go, into here and see a chart and be looking at whatever stock chart I'm looking at. So let's imagine that I'm looking at a stock chart. It's going to look something like this, right? And I'm going to be trying to dissect it. And I'm going to be looking at support and resistance and all of that. But what I'm saying is I have spent hours and hours. I've spent over a decade doing that. And what we're doing here is we're adding the ability for me to get that analysis without having to go through all the charts. Now, if I want to go through the charts, I can, of course. Okay. But what we're looking at here is I'm looking at the future chart. So here's a good question. Superstar says the only thing that matters is the only thing that the system doesn't have. Options chains. What do you mean? Options chains. I can go search options chains right now. And I can go look here. Right? Here we are. Here's my options chain. There you go. Do you want to look at this options chain? You can go use any platform. There's thousands of platforms that will give you option chains. Right? But what I'm saying is I would rather have an AI look through this data, and everyone that uses our platform would rather have an AI look through this data, look through the gamma, look through the theta, look through the delta, look at the implied volatility, look at the strike prices, look at the premiums. I mean, you can look at that stuff if you want. It's super easy to go find it. What I'm saying is that our system has that data, but we've simplified it down into a simple chart. Now, if I want to go look at those things, I can. If I want to look at, advanced news, or I want to look at institutional buying and selling, I can do that too. I can look at the SEC filings. Where is that at? Let's see, congressional trading I can look at as well. And I could just, if I just click here, I can do dark pool activity. What else do I want to add? I can add, anything I want, SEC filings, all that stuff. And I could look through all the inside or the congressional trading here, and I can look at the dark pool activity, meaning the private transactions that are happening behind the scenes that aren't in most people's order books. I can look at the statement changes, but the point is if you want to, you can. But do you want to go through these filings? That's the question. Do you want to go and you want to click into this doc here and read about this filing right here and go through this technicals? And my theory is that I don't want to do it. And I've been able to have above average returns doing this without having to go through all of those things. Because what matters at the end of the day? What matters at the end of the day? To me, it's freedom and profit. Freedom and profit. So what we've allowed you to do here is you can actually see projections from Meta, and you can see the next 4 hours. You can see into tomorrow. You can see the next 1 day. You can see the next 3 months in this projection, and you can see the next year. So what we've done as well is you can actually you can actually use and get involved with the multi-model, and the multi-model will show you the full breakdown of all of the projections from all of the AI models in one place. So I know what you're asking yourself. At least this is what I would be asking myself if I was in your shoes right now looking at these projections, is I would say, Will, that's really cool. I think this is probably going to do a better job maybe than I do of analyzing. That's what I'd be saying, because it is freaky good, and you can see these support levels, and I can look at all that stuff and the support resistance, sure, all the news that it's considering, sure. But like what I'm saying is, are these accurate? How do they do? How do they perform? Like, that's what I would want to know, right? How do they perform? You got Gemini, and you got it saying that the data center market's going to grow, and this stock's going to reach these levels over the next year, and that this stock's going to reach these levels, Gemini or Grok, or I can look at ChatGPT, I can look at Meta here, and I can see the projections on the stock for the next day or whichever time frame I have selected. That's awesome. Okay, I got that. Now, how accurate is it? Well, we just started this about 6 months ago. But as of yesterday at, oh no, was it this morning? This morning at about 7:30 a.m. Pacific time, we were able to compile the thousands and thousands of data points that we have compiled from all of our users of projecting stocks in thousands of different stocks over the last 6 months. And we finally are able to see the accuracy of our models. So what's so exciting about this is what we're looking at. So I'm going to actually pull up something here. Let me pull it up because I don't want to expose any sensitive data. So let me just go full screen for a moment here while I shift things a little bit and pull things up. Here we are. Okay. Here we are. Boom, boom, boom. All right. So I can actually see our model accuracy. Now, this is something that's not publicly available, but I have this on our back end, and we're now tracking Meta, Gemini, Claude, Grok, and GPT. And not only are we tracking how close these models are coming within their projections, we're tracking the number of evaluations we've had over the last 30 days, which you can see it's a little bit over 20,000 analyzations plus an extra 400 as we just introduced Meta a few days ago. And we can see which models are projecting the most accurately. And so I could actually go see Gemini. I could see the recent levels, and I could see that it was correct about the direction 57% of the time. And since implementing Meta, it's been correct about the direction 64% of the time. And I can also see how accurate these models have been. Here, I could see how accurate the models have been throughout different time frames. So whether it's the 1 day, the 1 week, I can see Claude has been down, struggling just below 50%. Whereas Gemini has been above 50% at 56%, 57%. And I'm going to tell you something here that blew my mind. I'm reading this book. It's called The Almanac by Naval Ravikant. It's a really good book. I recommend everybody read it that is an investor, an entrepreneur, or just wants more peace of mind in their life. And this book talks about how most people calculate things in terms of, twice as good, or even 3 times as good, or better. But rarely do people calculate things in terms of exponential compound, exponential growth. And so what we've done is we started to calculate what it would be and what the effects would be in our user base as we improve accuracy by 2%. As we improve accuracy by 3%. So if I pull this up, what is the accuracy of hedge funds in being correct about stocks, let's say direction. All right, let's see what it says. Let's pull it up. Okay, hit rates. Research portfolio managers generally are around 49 to 50%. Market outperformance are generally above 50%. It's not fully answering my question. What is the accuracy of hedge funds about, let's try this, about stock direction in percentage of time? Right, let's do that. Let's see if that fixes it. Let's see here. Here we go. Some of the best performance is above 50%. Most hang around 40 to 50%, with the most outperforming portfolios in hedge funds that have outperformed the market with 60 to 40, 60%, close to 60% and around 60%. Okay. And so what I'm saying is for every 1 to 2% that we increase the accuracy of our models, and that the AI models just naturally increase, because again, we're very unbiased. We don't bias these models. We're expecting to make it investors 2% increase in accuracy, thousands of dollars, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in difference in profit. And so while this is for, financial education, but it's not, it's for educational purposes. It's not investment advice. What I'm telling you is we're tracking these models. We're seeing which models are the most accurate. And you can actually use these models with the best data sources in the world. So how do you do it? Well, let's get into it. So again, you got the projections. You can get the full access to it all. You can see the insider selling and buying. You can see the near support and resistance levels. And you can get all of this, including the market network, which we went over here, the connections of all of the different markets and the top stocks in each individual market for each individual sub-market as well, which companies are growing. And so if that's you and you're saying this changed a lot of how I'm viewing investing and I'm ready to take my portfolio to the next level, then what I'm about to share with you is for you. So when I started this, we were still figuring out how accurate the models are. Now that we're getting an idea of how accurate models are, the payoff is starting to become quite large, starting to change the way that we invest without having to do all of the tremendous research. Does that make sense? You guys understand? Everybody understand? Are you guys tracking right now what I'm saying? Hopefully. We're changing the way that investors invest in a meaningful way to create more freedom in your life so you don't have to spend as much time tracking all the charts, looking at all this stuff. If you want to, you can. That's what we consider. You also get the press releases and all of those things straight to you. And let's jump into what this is going to look like. Okay, so first things first. Again, if you want to analyze a stock with ChatGPT, Meta, Grok, Google, or Claude, or what's the other one we were just looking at? ChatGPT. You're going to go through a process. It's going to be fairly hands-on. You're going to pay somewhere around $200 per month for each model when you do so. Okay. And here's the truth about predictions as well. As I mentioned, we're talking about 60% accuracy, somewhere in there between that 50 to 65% accuracy. That's all great. But here's the truth about predictions. Even Warren Buffett has lost more trades than he's won. Michael Jordan has missed way more shots than he's made. And Wayne Gretzky has missed 100%. Oh, he says, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And you can apply this to baseball, right? Batting averages for sure. People swing and miss more than they make contact. And so the truth about predictions is you don't need to win every trade. But a successful trade comes down to a big winner that covers dozens of small losses sometimes. Success comes from managing risk, learning how to trade, learning how to invest alongside great analysis, finding good deals, and playing the long game. So here's how we apply this. So in StockMates, we don't chase perfection. You guys might say, StockMate, what does that have to do with this? That's not prophecy. That's not what we just went over. Well, StockMate is the educational piece that I would encourage you to have a look at. See, when you learn to trade like the pros, you stop worrying about being right every single time. Wrong projections do not scare you because your focus shifts to consistency over time, not just perfection in the moment. So by following a plan, managing risk, using tools like StockMate and profit calculators, you build the confidence to trade with clarity. Over time, that confidence compounds into results, and that's how you win in the market. So flip a switch with me and wake up to deals. So number one, you're getting the automation number one, and refresh your analysis daily. Our analysis refreshes every 2 to 3 seconds. So you're getting real-time refreshes every single day. Guarantees you a pipeline of emerging stocks. Automation number two, analyzes and auto deep dives for you, guarantees speed with real-time analysis, automatically access powerful AI, and let the system find short and long-term stocks for you. Again, we didn't go over that, but that's a piece. If you put in your watch list, you could get full breakdowns of all of your stocks in each stock in your watch list and see what's driving it. And then automation number 4, analyze deals and project prices. No need to run financials, the news, or the chart analysis, although you can run that, of course. This machine does it for you. And then automation number 5, uncover valuable companies, accurate analysis for real value. So the future of stock analysis automation is finally here. And I want to invite you to become a first access member of Prophecy AI. So the question is, if you become a first access member today, will you use the system, provide us with feedback, good and bad, and help me and my team change the way that profitable stocks get found, analyzed, and traded? That's where we want to go with this when you get to that point. So if you answered yes, I want to invite you to today join the first access list and join my team and me for a training day and set up and launch your machine tomorrow. We have our sessions on Fridays at 2 p.m. Pacific time, and I would love to see you there. We're there on Fridays to go through and walk through how to set up and start using your machine and get access to Prophecy. Although you'd get access to it right now, we want to make sure that you have that weekly support to be able to use it to the best of its capability. And while you might think that you might have to be technically savvy, that is not the case at all, because the reality is it's become the same way that I'm able to, for example, code easier today than I did 5 years ago, is because it's easier with AI. It's simpler with AI. In fact, you have to know less than you did before in order to execute, because the AI does all of the technical lifting for you. So as a beta tester, I want you to flip the switch, and with our help as we move Prophecy AI from early access to our full production for portfolios, work with us to provide feedback, insight, and results. So we take it very seriously that we implement new features all the time. How many of you guys are already in Prophecy? Comment in the chat below if you're already in Prophecy. If you have any experience with us adding new features as you're already a Prophecy member, just comment what that experience has been. Now, maybe we don't have too many, maybe we have a lot, not really sure, in the chat as we just spun up this live session, but I will say we implement and add new features for users very quickly, talking sometimes hours, sometimes even minutes. So we'll run this similarly to the way we ran the beta release of the market network. We'll guide you through the setup, and as we make improvements, updates, and launch new integrations, we'll unlock everything for you for free. So when you have the machine here, you're going to get all of the new and future additions for free. So as we add more models, you get all the models already unlocked. As we add more time frame analysis or more data sources that are considered by those models, your models stay just as smart. As new models become faster and new ones get unlocked, and we're using the latest and greatest, you get those unlocked for free. So the first access invitation is your only opportunity to lock in future updates. But I'm also limiting the number of early access members we allow in the group. In fact, we've had this closed for quite some time, and we recently opened it back up today. So the bottom line is my team is going to treat this early access group with white gloves. You're going to feel like a king or a queen because we're going to see to your success. I call every single member, and the idea is to make it extremely simple for you to get going and get access and start using it right now. The reality is the government is clear that I can't make promises of success or financial reward And well, this is stock investing, which I've been around long enough to know that nothing is guaranteed and everything worthwhile takes some commitment and work. But it's our goal here at Prophecy to do everything we can to give you the power to create a profitable portfolio. This is no different because I don't know you whether you're going to put in the work with my team to get up and running or not. So I can't say whether you'll make any money or not. And of course, you could even lose money. But here's what I do know. We've put my 10 plus years worth of knowledge, experience, and skill into the tools that make up the Prophecy app. So if you want the future of stock analysis, my 10 plus years built into the software, and our team to help guide you towards success, watching the presentation today and joining me as an early bird for this world debut of Prophecy AI could be the most important thing you do all year. So you're probably wondering what it takes to join early access and work with my team. And you're probably expecting the investment to be pretty high and maybe outside of your comfort zone. So good news, because I want beta testers who are committed to action, there is what I call a commitment deposit. So I know you're serious about what I'm going to ask you today. And just so you know, it's a fraction of what you're probably expecting. So over the past couple of months, we've slowly been releasing tools and technology and products that make up the automations of the machine. And individually, if you were to have invested in everything as it was released, you would have invested in your portfolio between $6,000 to $9,000. Now, the good news is we know that we ultimately planned to release the Prophecy AI as a fully integrated analysis system. So what we did is as we released other technologies, we always bundled them together with tools, bonuses, and other products to keep investments low. You'll notice that anytime someone ever were to request anything at our company when it comes to technologies and things like that, or if they want to purchase, it's almost always that they are rewarded for the previous technology that they have. Almost always. I would say 98% of the time. So, in the 2% of the time, maybe if it's something that's high intensive based on a delivery that could be like my time, for example. But when it comes to technologies, it's 100% of the time we reward those who work with us throughout time. And some of you guys may have seen that firsthand. Ali says, I requested for simple items and within 2 hours, my simple request was implemented. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And that's the type of service that we take with the white glove service for everybody. And that's why we're limiting the spots. And that's why I personally would love to give you a phone call. And also, because we bundled in all the technologies with tools and bonuses and other products to keep investments low, that way no one has ever had to pay the full $9,000 to unlock the individual automations we're bundling together in Prophecy here today. And even if you've invested in one or another of the automations we've released over this year, you'll see that the full integration of the machine makes becoming an early access member a complete no-brainer. So I've never offered a fully integrated package for anywhere near what I've convinced my team to let me offer you here today. Ryan, if you're watching this, I appreciate you. Ryan, my developer. I've been offered crazy numbers to make this only available for a handful of individual investors, high-level investors that could afford it. But that's not my goal. It's not my goal to lock you out, price everything super high, and keep the AI technology only for myself and my successful buddies and top investors in good markets. My goal is to change the way investors invest and find stocks and make returns by making it faster, easier, and better. So our goal is to create the best and most simple system for finding deals that anyone has ever experienced. And that's when people told me that I should charge a setup fee between $3,000 and $5,000 and as high as $1,000 a month to run Prophecy AI in just one market, I know that I was onto something and that I was going to be able to positively impact the success of both new and experienced investors alike. And that's why I've decided to release this beta test version of Prophecy AI. When you unlock Prophecy AI, I'm going to waive the $5,000 setup fee. That's now $0. And I'm going to slash the monthly fee to 0 for 6 months and just roll everything into your new or existing Prophecy account. Now, with this offer, you have a code that you can use if you want to do the 6 months. But what I'm about to show you is access for the next year. So if that's you, why did Ryan say, man, Will left me out? Oh, the other Ryan. Is that what you're talking about, Ryan? Just roll everything into your new existing Prophecy account. So again, this is for the entire 1-year license. So just to start new or keep your existing subscription today, and I'll unlock Prophecy for you instantly. So that brings me to the small beta tester commitment deposit and your investment here today. So you won't pay $9,000 like you could if you unlocked everything separately. You won't pay $6,000 or even $3,000. I've slashed the setup fee to 0 and waived the monthly fee with your StockMate account. Your commitment deposit today isn't $2,500. It's not even $2,000. Today, you can become a first access member of the Prophecy AI machine. Let my team coach you through the entire setup and implementation training day tomorrow, as we do them every Friday. This is our spring special. Unlock the Prophecy AI machine today for just one payment of $1,497. $1,497 unlocks the machine for you for the next year. Cash2assets.com/the machine, or you can go to the link in the description below. Ryan. No, Ryan, we recognize you too. It's funny when I said Ryan, I was like, I wonder if Ryan's watching this, and that's so funny. Ryan, our developer. So let's take a look at one more time what you get here, guys, with Prophecy app. The goal here, guys, is not only to get things on track for you, obviously with the one-on-one ability to work with our team and get you set up with Prophecy, and then hopefully also talk some of the longer term stuff in your portfolio and all that good stuff. But really the idea as well is to set up with you the ability to really take advantage of some of the big opportunities in the short term and take advantage of some of these high growth opportunities. Some of you guys are so focused and waiting that you might want to learn how to direct your focus and energy towards some of these high growth opportunities. And that's what the machine opens up for you. So this is for our next 20 fast action takers. Of course, you get the widgets, you get the future chart, you get the multi-model view. So normally people don't get the multi-model view by default, but you're going to have access to the multi-model. So that means when you're using, for example, this is maybe how it looks for you. When you're using it, you're actually it's not going to be limited to one model at a time where you're seeing the projection and you see like only, for example, Grok. But you're actually going to be able to click multi-model and get the full projections from all of the different models at once. So you can actually see what every single model is saying, right? And that also includes, again, what we were talking about with the accuracy. You can also just note some of these models are more accurate than others. Our average seems to be 56% accuracy, and some models perform better in the short term than others. Like in the long term, they may perform better. It's still, we're gathering a lot of data, but that's what we're seeing, right? So that's what you get. But then getting back, this is a really great opportunity for you if you're wanting to really step up and get a little bit more, let's say, accountability with what you're doing. Because what we actually have going here is this bonus. Bonus number 1 is that you get StockMate. That's lifetime access to our daily live trading sessions. So we go live every day at market open. That's Monday through Friday. And you get access to those sessions. So you get to join us there in StockMate, and you get to learn technical, fundamental analysis. Surround yourself with some of the investors. Like I see a few here. I think Dean's there. We got Ali is here. Ryan's there as well. We got a few very high level. Johnny's there. Lee is there. And you can actually see a lot of very high level investors there, but also people that are beginners. Okay. And then also, if you want to ask me questions, I'm there as well, and I can answer your questions. You can always send me a direct message in StockMate there with this bonus number 1. So you get lifetime access That's lifetime access, not a subscription, lifetime access. Normally there, you could see it as high as $249 a month or $649 for getting access. And you're getting it for free as a bonus. You can watch my entries, watch my exits, see my trades, all that stuff in the bonus number 1. Bonus number 2, you get Prophecy account data upgrade. So we haven't had this happen yet, but in the events you manage to analyze over 25,000 stocks in 1 month, I think the record is a little bit over 1,000. But if you had the ability to somehow manage over analyze over 25,000 stocks, you would again get 25,000 analyzations for free. So there's no additional charge on any of your analyzations. You get unlimited models, unlimited usage, unlimited searches, unlimited analysis of using Prophecy AI. And you can use it on your desktop or on your phone. Bonus number 3 is you get unlimited AI models. So again, unlimited. This we take very seriously because we just added Meta, for example, over the last week. And some people will get in now and they won't have to pay the premium of what it costs to pay for Claude or for Meta, because those are additional costs. Think about it. With your multi-model, you're getting more AIs, more of a consensus from the top models in the world with all these data sources. So when we add new models, you're still getting all of the new models that we add over the next year at no additional cost. You get unlimited AI models. That's a real world value of $2,997, and it's yours free. So we went over Stockmate lifetime access. That's value there, $29.97 if you paid monthly, and you're getting lifetime access. Bonus for the data upgrades, you're getting 25,000 stock analyzations. If you manage to use it, it'd be $2,500. Bonus number 3, unlimited AI models for 1 year use license here. That's a value of just about $3K. And then bonus number 4, a while back, we did something called the virtual stock trading system. And the virtual stock trading system goes over entries and exits. And I can talk to you about it. I can also show you it, what it looks like. Let's see if I can pull it up here. Maybe this would be clean. Let's see if I can pull it up. So we are migrating Stockmate, but you'll see live trading's happening in 12 hours. You would get into this community here. But when it comes to our learning materials here for example, the AI, the virtual stock trading system, this is 6 weeks. And we had a bunch of investors here actually go through this. And it goes over uncovering emerging markets, AI markets. And look, I share a lot on my YouTube. You guys know that. But this is the cream of the crop. This is the things that we may have held back that I actually go through in these lessons. And I talk about our entry zones. I talk about, how we actually enter in the short term, what we look for. We do a big Q&A. We actually go through charts one by one, and we actually do the entries and the exits, and we talk about the short term. That's just there. Then you got hidden growth engines, how we identify stocks early, all those things, the power laws, the different thinking frameworks that I apply in my trading and investing. And you get them all, those full 6 weeks of replays, you get actually for free as a bonus here when you grab the machine. So you can go to the link that I just posted in the chat, or you could go and check out the link in the description there. And it should take you there. And I can test it out too and see if it's working all right, but it should be working all good there. So that's bonus number 4. It's a $1,200 value. Again, people for the live sessions, obviously you're not paying that, but for the live sessions, when they were live, this sold for over $1,200. That's what people actually paid. And I can tell you there's a lot of really good reviews as well. If I were to actually search up some of our reviews on this virtual stock trading system, you'd find that people were very satisfied. See if we can go to the discussion here. Virtual stock. See if we can find it. There's a lot of virtual stock trading systems. Here it is. Here's some breakdowns. Will went over a lot of the basics. And then you can see, could have saved me a lot of wasted time while learning the hard way and a lot of bad trades that went south. As this progresses over the rest of the 6 modules, I'll post my updates. And Lawrence went ahead and posted his updates. He went through the different sessions. Here's, the virtual stock trading system module 3. And what he realized, not intimidating at all. I don't know if you guys can read it, but he says not intimidating at all. Super easy to go through. It continues to be a very good investment for me, he said. Right? That was Lawrence. He's also a prophecy member, but at the time, we only had the virtual stock trading system. He invested the full amount, and he really, really got value out of it. He said it's had a huge impact on his trading style. He said before it, he was making money consistently, but stress level was through the roof, and he was chained to his PC for about 10 hours a day. Now he's making at least what he was and able to set up so he can actually have the life outside of staring at the wall of monitors. That's kind of like the goal with everything we went over. So hopefully that makes sense. But you guys know, like, we've had a lot of really good testimonials related to this because of the value that we're providing there. And not only that, whether you decide to do it or not, we still got another bonus. Bonus number 5, team tickets. So you get 1 implementation day a week. And so this is a value of $1,997 once a week, 52 sessions, all right, 52 sessions a year, where we actually allow you and one other person to join our setup and implementation training days that we run over a Zoom call, and you get access inside of this machine. So that bonus right there, attend Prophecy AI launch setup and implementation training day, that assumes that you're going to get everything taken care of for you. It's not going to be that you're ever on your own. Again, we take it very, very, we love to be very involved in our members in helping them as much as possible. So once again, you can actually get access with the link in the description, or if you click the link in the chat, it will take you to a page, and it will look something like this. Let's see if we can pull it up. So bonuses today are worth over $10,494. And then we also have a 30-day $1,000 money back guarantee. Like, if you guys are on the fence at this point, how this works, you got 30 days. You do have to reach out within the 30 days. If you haven't earned more than $1,000 as a result in your portfolio while using the machine, we can give you a full money back guarantee. Now, if you're way past the 30 days, we don't honor it. But the reason we have this is because we want people to say, shoot, I'm glad that I'm not eligible. I've made more than $1,000. And if you make more than $1,000, then you are not eligible for the money back guarantee. Now, you have to reach out again in the 30 days. That's really important because obviously there's a lot of service involved. I'm helping you one-on-one. You're getting a lot of stuff, but that's our only requirement, is you just have to prove that you didn't actually earn that in your portfolio while you had the machine. And that's all you have to do. If you can do that, you are eligible for this $1,000 money back guarantee, as long as you apply or you say during that time. What I've had is overwhelmingly, there are people that are still figuring it out. And some people are like, hey, I didn't figure it out, but then they figure it out later, or they're just on the journey and they are paying some tuition because they don't have proper risk management, or they're still figuring those things out. Even though we go through those things as part of the education that you get with this, it can be easy to jump in and maybe still be figuring things out quickly. And so if that's you, of course, there is that possibility that, as we said with anything, you could lose money, right? But this is what we put in place. So I've had a lot of people, I'm talking a lot of people, like over a dozen people, tell me I'm not eligible for the guarantee, and they're very happy because they made more than $1,000 within the 30-day period after getting it. I'm like, all right, cool. It's working for you. All right, maybe that's just 1%. Maybe it's a little more, but that's what it is. So what you're going to do is you go to prophecyapp.com/the machine. prophecyapp.com/the machine. And what it's going to look like is something like this. It's going to have the full breakdown here. And new revolutionary machine changes everything. All you're going to do is you go through, you can see the full modules, you get the 6 weeks, you get the bonus credits, you get the lifetime access to stock meet, and you get the 2 tickets to the launch trainings each and every week. Those 6 modules, quick start guide, all that stuff. But more importantly, you get access to all the top AI models in the world, along with the AI analysis that we personally are. It's built on my own personal analysis system. Simplicity is our goal. The goal here is to get you into beta. So all you're going to do is just click there. There's an option for you to use a code here to go 6 months rather than the full 1 year. If you want to do 6 months, that is an option at checkout. You can see there is a code there if you want to do 6 months. Now, obviously, we want to build our beta group and we want to service you best, and we want you to commit to yourself to succeed. And so obviously the 1 year access is preferred and recommended. Now, if you click here, you're going to then just enter your info. So I'll just enter my name here, just enter my email address, something like that. And then I can, do a code if I need to. So I'll just do, don't email me, but well, you guys can email me as much as you want, I guess. But you're just going to go there, full name, just like that. And you're going to go continue. And then it's going to take you to the page to actually check out. And you can do a few different options. You can do like Google Pay, there's Apple Pay, you can do US Bank, you can do crypto, you can even do a Klarna if you want to split it up into multiple payments over a few months or anything like that, and still get the full 1 year access there locked in. So you just do that, enter your card details, all that. The next page that it's going to take you to, as soon as you enter in, it's going to drop you into the app and you're going to jump right into the search bar. And you're going to be right here. And you're going to be able to immediately select your top AI models. And you're going to be able to immediately, whether on your phone, if you're on phone, it would look something like this. Okay. And you're going to immediately be able to search any stock you want. Click, drag, or touch, drag, or however you want. And this is how it would look on mobile, right? And immediately you can actually start going in and getting your analysis. And I can even look at the charts and stuff on my phone, and I can see here, what the projections are from all the models. I can select the different time frame. And then of course, if I'm not in multi-model mode, I can select the different AI, knowing it's the latest. I could click into Grok here. Well, I guess I have already multi-model pulled up, so it's already there. But I got my financials. If I want to see equity, I want to see how things are on my phone, I can see that. It's super easy to read. I can see the income statements or anything. I could get full breakdowns of all the different AIs and what they're saying for the different time frames and what they're projecting. I can do it all from my phone in the comfort of my phone. It's very easy. I can also view my watch list here. I can go, click on into markets, and I can view markets on my phone. Hey, I could even do the market network and visualize what's going on here in the different markets and click in. And I can click and do a stock and see how different companies are connected. It's pretty good on the mobile. It's getting there for sure. I can see my watch list, and I can also, hover over any watch list stock and then see some of the contributing factors for why it was moving today. So if I wanted to hover over Redwire, I can hover over the stock and I could see all the reason. They got their earnings coming up. There's the SpaceX IPO. The defense sector is doing really good. I can see some of the contributing factors for why it was moving today. And I can see that on any stock. And I can see full watch list summaries, and I can even build AI watch lists. Pretty powerful. So once again, you can go get access in the link below. This is the mobile, obviously, but we do have, I like to use the desktop because that's what I've set up. I use mobile quite often. I was just using it today when I was going for a walk, and you can get access right now. All right, so questions, Q&As, things like that. If you're committed to yourself to learn AI, this is the place. If you want to save a tremendous amount by not having to rely and pay for all of the different AI models, then this is definitely the place. And if you're wondering, what would it be like if I were to go work with Will in a closer setting? What if I was involved and really got involved here into the next few months? Or maybe you'll be thinking about it a year from now or 2 years from now. And this is your opportunity to say, you don't have to wonder. You can get involved right now. What if you were to just say, hey, I'm going to go all in with Will. Let's do it. I'm ready for you. I'd love to work with you. And I would love to give you a call. Anthony Korupski. Oh man, I'm sorry. Sorry your picks are trash. Yeah, so the goal here is to also obviously build your confidence. Because the biggest thing when it comes to using this technology is realizing this isn't meant to be more difficult. It's actually meant to be more simple. And so if you're ready to learn, the entries, the exits, and you're ready to learn how to structure trades and aggressively play it and take advantage with the best tools in the world, this is for you. Now, if you're also looking to really get a gauge on the long term, you want to look at the next year, you want to see what's going on with these stocks, who's buying them, the institutions, is Nvidia involved, is State Street involved, you want to see that stuff, it's going to be super beneficial for you there as well. It's really going to help you. If you want to get a better pulse on markets before they start to get traction, then this is for you. If you're feeling like not technically savvy, again, you can use our weekly sessions. They're tremendously valuable, and you can actually tune in there weekly. And we're actually having our next session tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific. So I'd love to see you there. So again, you can go to the link there in the chat that I just dropped, or you can go ahead and drop into the description and use that link. It will take you there and you're good to go. Now, for those of you guys that are wondering how we set things up with our members, how it works is pretty simple. We're pretty hands-on. You join into the machine. I'll give you a call within the next hour, unless you were to sign up at 2 a.m. or you're seeing this at 2 a.m. because we are going to have this up for just a little bit here through the weekend, and then we are going to be closing it very soon as we are doing, again, it's very hands-on. Then maybe I would call you, a little later into the morning, but for the most part, we're getting things on track. You get immediate access. You can start using the app right now. And then you also would get it on schedule. You want to get the scheduled weekly session that we have there. Now, if you're also wanting to learn more, you can go to the Prophecy AI YouTube channel, but you could go to our education section. So in the education section, we go over there's some other features, for example, quantum analysis, things like that, where if you wanted to jump in and get more breakdowns, we have some more breakdowns there as well. You just got to wait for the video to load. And then you can see we have full tutorials breaking down how to use individual components. Looks something like this. And it's very simple, very straightforward to get you on track. And we walk through, for example, how to use quantum analysis. We also have not just OpenAI, Claude, Grok, Meta, ChatGPT, but we also have some quantum companies. So we work with Rigetti, and we also have IonQ, so you can get quantum enhanced analysis to basically see which out of all the projections, which projection for the timeframes is having the most confidence and is most likely to happen according to to taking that AI data and feeding it through the quantum analysis with IonQ or Getty. So we do have quantum analysis there as well. When it comes to getting started, again, you can do Klarna. I think it comes down to just like, I don't even know. I think it's like $120 or something a month if you get started with Klarna, or you can just get in for the year, or you can use the code and get the 6 months access, and you'll be ready to roll there with Prophecy. So we have our session tomorrow at 2 p.m. So if you're thinking about it, you're on the fence. Again, if you guys don't know my sincerity by now, we do have that 30-day money back guarantee. So obviously our goal is to make you money and help you to be able to do so. And so part of that comes down to the group calls again. So we jump in here. You can see different archives of all the different calls in the past, and you can see different past videos that we've done with the group calls. So you get the replays. If you can't make it, you get the replays. And then even if you do make it and you show up and you do the work and you don't see the results, then of course, as I mentioned, we got the 30-day guarantee. So there's essentially no risk for you to get started considering the guarantee. Now, when it comes to the newest features that we're adding and everything we're really trying to break down and get into the system for you, it's going to be very, very custom. So it just depends. If you're going really long term, this can work for you. If you're going very short term, this can work for you as well. If you're getting very short term, then maybe you want to use our strategies area. You want to, set some strategies. I also give away my swing trade strategies for free, so you can use the exact same strategies that I'll use. Oil trading systems, you can click through, use the best AI models to have them go through step by step in order to analyze certain things about a stock. You just apply it to the stock. And we were just using it on oil recently. One of the recent trades we were making was with the oil U here, and we were just trading oil U in the last few. If I go over to the oil market here, this is the exact system that we applied. And again, it was somewhere around like a $4,000 to $5,000 investment here that we made in this specific stock in the oil markets, because we had some good analysis going with Prophecy, and we're up about $950 profit on this trade in the oil market. And now how we're able to do that, again, I use Prophecy, so we're up $950 profit there. We went over here. I use this oil trading system. So what I'll do is I'll have it check if Saudi Arabia is currently producing oil, whether that's oil is shippable right now during this Iran conflict, Iran. Stock has sold off greater than 5%, and it's breaking above 15-day EMA. You can have the system be doing, if you're very advanced, you can tell it what you want. Or you can template, and it will, like, for example, I can add another action, and my action might be very, based on what we give to you as a template. So if you wanted to click on support and resistance, you could say like the next 4 hours is, near a support level, and it's good. Everything passes if, let's say, it's a double bottom pattern. Like that's a strategy. And then you select the AI model you want to do it. Super simple. It's super easy. Anybody can do this. And you just click there, and then you run the strategy. And so what I did is I just run the strategy, and I'd have Claude or Gemini do this step. Go check. So if it's an agent, there are certain things that aren't measurable in analysis. You guys know that. We can look at financials, but how many times did the financials come out and then the stock still sells off? How do you measure certain things? Like, is Saudi Arabia still pumping oil? Like, that's very news-based. It's not a financial technical thing. Is the Strait of Hormuz open? That's not something your average, trading view is really going to tell you. Maybe you have some news here, but then the news is changing. but this system goes out, checks all the news articles, gets confirmation of the Strait of Hormuz that it's open. So this is like checking, traffic in the ports, and then it automatically goes through and it runs the analysis. Now, obviously, this strategy just failed. It says it hasn't broken out from these levels, and it has not had a 5% sell-off recently in the last few hours. So it actually failed my strategy, right? Failed my strategy. I would be surprised if it said it was at a double bottom, but we could see. Let's see how it performs on this last step. Dun, dun, dun. Yep, it failed. So I could read the strategy. I could see that it failed. It's not at a double bottom. All right. The AI said it's not at a double bottom. It's not breaking above the EMA. So it failed the strategy now. And it's like, yeah, of course it failed. We're already up $1,000 on this trade. And this was the trend here that we were trading. Okay. So this was the trend that we're trading. So no, it's not a double bottom. It's actually at a resistance. This was our entry here, and we're riding this trend, and it's up at a resistance, and it's continuing to break out. So of course, I wouldn't want the strategy to have me buy right now. I would want it to fail, and that's exactly what just happened. It failed. It went through and checked all of that, and every step failed. And that's what I would want to happen. Now, if this strategy checked out and everything was green, then immediately I'm saying, oh, okay, I can actually look at this. All these things check out. Strait of Hormuz closed. Oh, the technicals line up. Financials look good, or what have you. Oil prices, or what have you. All right, checks out. I'm good to enter, right? And that's kind of how I approach it. And so that's one of the bonuses that you get with this offer. So what's really cool about this offer, and I'm so excited, as we're doing this here. I don't know if I can pull the strike. Can I pull the slides back up? I might have lost the slides. That's okay. But what you guys need to know is that the analysis that we run personally is all given to you and templated out when you go get the machine. You get the 1-year access, and you get the Stockmate lifetime access. So you get our live trading Monday through Friday. If you're already in Stockmate and you apply the 6-month code, so you only get 6 months rather than the full year, and you're already in Stockmate before buying the machine, then you actually get Stockmate deducted and you get the full year of the prophecy. But if you're getting the 1 year of prophecy, it's a really good deal for you because you get the Stockmate included, you get the 6 weeks of Zoom calls included, and you get the weekly trainings included as well. And then, of course, unlimited access to all the models, unlimited usage of all the models. So you could start using these models right now. And once again, I'm super excited for all of you guys that jumped in. I did see some people already get in, and we do have a few spots left. Again, it's hands-on. So every single one of you guys, if you go to the link in the chat and you go into like the description, or you join right now, you go to the machine link and you get started, it looks like this. You click in and you enter your information, you go boom, 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 and then you finish your order. Not only will you get access right now, but also give you a call on the phone. Now, if you don't answer, that's fine. You still get the reminders, you'll get the text and everything else. There's no obligation to answer a random California number. But if you do decide to answer, you do receive a call from me to make sure you get on the right track, get unlocked, get access to everything once again, because you are getting, inside the virtual stock trading system, getting the community. We're also migrating and moving some really cool things into Prophecy. So it's all in one place. When you use it on your mobile phone or desktop, it's super easy to use. All you got to do is just go to prophecyapp.com/themachine. Again, prophecyapp.com/themachine to get started. Talk to Me Silly says, sick. I love how Prophecy runs and I want it. Awesome, man. You're in. Let's do it. I'd love to see you there. And I'd love to see you at our session tomorrow. We got our training, and we're going to be there, and we're going to be really peeling back and kind of showing you exactly how to use the system. So if you're just getting started, getting an analysis is one thing. You can get started right now. But really getting a full grasp of the system and learning, getting the implementation and the setup week after week is where you're going to see a lot of really outsized returns. Like if you had to measure those returns, they'd be outsized. Very outsized. So if you're looking at prophecy and you're saying, this is pretty good, I don't know if I want to commit to a full year. Again, there's the 6 months. But you might be saying, man, I want to do this, but what's the ROI for me? Again, money back guarantee. So if you don't make more than $1,000 within 30 days of using it, and you do reach out to us within those 30 days, and you can prove that you did not earn more than $1,000 inside your portfolio as after getting the machine, then you're eligible for the full refund. We stand by our models. Our models are, as of right now, 56% accurate. Some are as high as 64% accuracy. I stand by our models. They are outperforming most hedge funds. And I could say that confidently with literally 20,000 data points or 20,000 analyses that are being analyzed over the last 30 days. That's just the last 30 days. 56% accuracy on the direction. Okay. And so the reason there's no risk, basically, to get started, you get the money back guarantee. And then also on top of that, if you're looking at it through the lens of like ROI, I mean, you could break it down. But do you think you could, if you had things going good for you, and you're able to trade or invest profitably, would you be able to generate, let's break it down over the course of a year, in profits, if you're doing it at the level that you know you can? Are you able to generate? This is something that people don't realize. How powerful would it be? Could you earn $4 in profit per day? That's a challenge for you. Do you really believe you could earn at least $4 in profit per day? There's a reason we have now, after launching beta, which again, we expect you to go into beta and provide bug reports, feature requests, improvement suggestions. It all gets routed into our team's community. It all gets routed into our community. Okay. And so what's really important to realize is that as long as you're willing to test it, can you make more than $4 in profit per day? If the answer is no, I mean, over the course of 2 years, could you make $2 in profit per day? Can you get the skills for yourself? Because investing skills last a long time, don't they? Kind of like you learn the skills and you get the skills. And we're also giving you the tools, right? And so the question is peace of mind, is having more time to be able to free up your ability to not stare at your screen all day worth to you $4 a day? And again, with the AI Max plan, you actually get the multi-model. So you're not going to be going from model to model and trying to figure out, what's the best model to look at and, what's this one say? What's that one say? You're actually going to get all of the models at once right in front of you. So you won't have to wonder if what's this one say, what's that one say? You could see it in the multi-model view and you immediately get to see all the models at once. How cool is that? So one of the things too in our testimonial area, which is really exciting, we've had some members, one of our best recent testimonials that we had into this year, 1.4 million all time, up over 400K in 3 weeks. That was Shadow, who was able to use the AI tool. He says, I'm excited to use the AI tool more. That was a cool good morning text that I saw from Shadow. We've also had some really, really nice recent breakdowns. There was another one. I think Johnny's still tuning in. Johnny says, I think it definitely helps as a full-time job plus kids who are all in sports. Time is really valuable. It helps me cut down studying time. That's another big one. Profits. Well, there's a lot of testimonials. One of my favorite was, paying for college. There's David. David's one of our top users. He grew his account by 104% over the last 3 months. 104% gain for David. And these are just some of the screenshots. We also have some like video testimonials, which are awesome. This is Jason. The transcript says that Jason got in at about $60,000 and his account grew to $390,000, from $60,000 to $390,000. Now, I'm not here to guarantee anything for anyone. Of course, these are people that I work with closely, and I am there with them, and they're in a room, and a lot of them, they already increased their active income to a certain extent, and they're growing what they have. And so obviously it's not going to work for you if you're starting with $500, and it may not work for you even if you're starting with $1 million. But Robert here, Robert says, I just wanted to pass along to you that when I started with you, I was roughly around 210,000. Now I'm well over $700,000. I just wanted to thank you. Sent from my iPhone. Casually, yeah, I made $500,000 since I started with you. Sent from my iPhone. I love that. Yeah, it's really cool. So anyway, guys, I share this with you so you know, like we're all about it. I'm trading right in front of you. You can see live like what I do, and also of course like we're building this as well. There's a reason we're in beta, because when we add more models and we're adding meta, and I'm talking on the phone with SEC, and I'm talking to build automations for us, and we're working with companies to get these data sources that are otherwise, just haven't been easily accessible for retail. Things like, again, dark pools or congressional trading, or, these are things that aren't easily plugged into AI, and we use the best and latest models and plug them in for you. You're not paying the cumulative amount of all these would be over $1,000 a month you would pay for the premium versions of these, but we give them all to you. And you can get started for the next year for just one payment of $14.97 the entire next year. If you can make more than $4 in profit over the next year per day, this is for you. So once again, even if you don't believe that, I mean, is that worth the learning experience? And the no risk. It's literally risk-free. If you guys are not seeing my sincerity by now, I want you to succeed. There's a reason why we do this. And the other reason as well is like, we want your improvement suggestion. We want your feedback. There's a text earlier somewhere up here where someone says, I had a mention on something I wanted done, and you guys implemented it like within a few hours. Super common. That's what Ali said up there. We do that quite often. Carl says, I had 30% gains in just April. Love the system. Thanks, Will. Man, that's awesome. I'm glad you're at 30% gains. And so when it comes down to how to get started, you can go to prophecyapp.com/themachine. I got the pinned comment, first link. It's the just above Alex and just below Ryan's comment. That's going to be the link there for joining the machine. Click on that link. It'll take you there. Once you get started, again, you get immediate access, and then we'll see you in the training as soon as tomorrow. So at this point, with what you're looking at, basically no risk. I take it very seriously that people are not only, we're going to commit to you, but you're going to commit to yourself. I mean, you guys, if you've been watching this, you watched earlier, you committed to yourself to succeed. So if you're in a moment where you're saying, what's missing? Maybe it's that you're not committing to yourself. Maybe the commitment to yourself, I mean, that's what I've seen with all the investors I've recently worked with, and a lot of investors that we talk with in our Zoom calls that we have each week. A big, recurring factor is like,
man, I just love that I'm able to be here around some of these investors and really kind of check what I'm doing here, kind of check it a little bit. And then why not learn with people that are doing it at the highest level? I mean, you can be in a position where do what you do and you watch the YouTube videos and you see the YouTube people or the TikToks and you can see the charts and you could draw stuff on the charts and like figure some things out. And things will probably be okay. And you might get like you can do it on your own. In fact, that's a noble way to do it. I think that's the way I started personally. Now I've invested a lot of money in my education now, but I'll say like it's a noble way to go. And that's an option for you, 100%. Right. And then the other option is to say, hey, up until this time, what we've gone through has been really valuable. And I'm ready to actually go on this journey and go through it with Will in a way that he understands where I'm coming from and can help me get to where I want to go. Right? One thing we do with all of our members is we obviously have your top stocks. We, call you. It's very hands-on and we want to make sure you get the most out of it. But if you're like struggling to like get clarity on certain things, you're not alone. Like we're here for you. And so you can go at it alone and that's totally noble and admirable. But I'm just saying like you don't have to. You can actually join in and we can get started and roll on the Prophecy app here with you in the first link in the description. Alex says, what have you found more success with using Prophecy? Day trading or swings? We did a challenge, a 10K trading challenge, which was about a month ago, and we grew that account by about 4% over the week, right? And during that challenge, we used Prophecy for almost everything, and it was really effective. It worked really well. And the accuracy, when we were just showing, I mean, from an accuracy standpoint, when we look at the accuracy of the models and what we found, the 1 day is one of the more higher accuracy points. You can see, for example, Gemini is having on 1,259 analysis, 63% of the time it's been correct on the 1 day. You see that's pretty tremendous. Claude is actually not as good on the short term, and then others are better on the short term. Grok, for example, on the 1 day, I've mentioned this for a while, but they use all the data from X AI, which considers everything on Twitter. And that's 74% accuracy on 2,000 evaluations, 2,000 analysis. And I can see them right here. Look, I can actually see the individual analysis. If it loads, it might be a lot. It's 2,077. So I don't know if it's going to load. We'll see. But my point is, what have I found more success in personally? The most success I've found has been in building long-term growth positions because I've been in the game long, right? But as far as using Prophecy, the short term and the aggressive kind of higher growth plays have been much more rewarding, and it's also only been around 6 to 8 months, right? So we're still in it. But I will say so far, obviously, yeah, short term, like we're talking a couple days, have been pretty rewarding. But yeah, like you can see we can actually look, I can go through all of the projections and see again with Grok on the 1 day time frame, 74% correct in the direction. But what I was saying with that 10K trading challenge, when we did that 10K trading challenge, at the beginning of that challenge, we set a target for Prophecy. We just pulled the Apple projection, and it was at like I think it was at, I don't even know. Let's just call it 230 or something. It was like more than $20 difference. And Prophecy was projecting that by the beginning of April, Apple stock would be at $255 a share. It closed on that Friday, 2 weeks later, it closed at 255 and 81 cents or something like that. And I sent out an email, which I don't know if I'll be able to find. And I don't really want to go through all my personal emails right now. But we refunded people. A lot of people said, no, I just keep it. I want to keep using Prophecy and I don't want the refund because they made money and stuff, right? That was actually that was a lot of the consensus. But we did have a few refunds just because. But I said, look, we'll give you a refund over that 81 cents of it not being correct. That's like how much precision we're looking to get to. Like if I'm looking at Applied Digital, for example, or I'm looking at Oil U, or if I go and let's say I'm pulling up a stock here and I search, let's say I search up like, I don't know, let's do Apple just because we're talking about it. If I search up Apple stock, and I'm looking for the nearest, let's say, support level. Wow, it had a big spike right around earnings after hours today, so it's been a volatile time. I would say if I had to look at this, the nearest support level is right here about 275. Can we all agree? Does that seem about right? 275, maybe 275 right here. Maybe 276, 275. And then the nearest resistance based on this after hours data, probably around like maybe 285. So let's see what Apple says. Let's pull it up. So what do we say? Hold on. What do we say? 275. All right, let's see. Into next hour, next day. Oh, okay. So this move just happened after hours. So let me go 3 month in a longer time frame because it's anticipating. Let me take a step back and do technical analysis, not from the earnings at this moment, but right now. Okay, here we go. This is probably the trend. This is how I would probably mark it out. Just like this, and just like this with Apple. Okay, just like that. That looks like the trend with Apple over the last month. Okay, so nearest support level in this instance, without the big earnings here, you got a resistance at 275, and you got a support level right at 265. 265. All right, that's what we're looking at, 265, assuming that frame pre-earnings. This 265 support and a 275 resistance. Let's see what it says over the next 3 months. Okay, so it says 260 support, 272 resistance. All right, so 260, slightly more conservative, actually down to here, slightly more conservative. This could be a further out time frame. This previous resistance here. And then 270, which would be right here, 271. So this is what the AI was saying pre-earnings. And then if we were to go into the next 4 hours, the nearest support level is at 270, it says, in the next 4 hour time frame. So that 270 was right here into the next 4 hours. There we go. And if we look at this, is that right? 270, bring it down, 270 right there. And then 274, there we go. Okay, so before earnings, it was watching these levels, support and resistance here into the 4 hours. So pre-earnings, it was watching these levels right here. This was a support level to watch, which it did bounce multiple times right around this 270. And then the resistance here at 274, and it broke out 274. The breakout resistance. Let's see if we get the breakout. Let me add a breakout one. There we go. Breakouts at 271. So the previous resistance acting as a breakout zone was at 271. We did see that move. When it jumped above 271 here, look at that push up that it had up here into earnings. And this is what the AI is essentially saying. This was the breakout moment when it broke above here, right here, 271, and there. So the reason that I'm sharing this is because I could do all that, or I could just have the AI know that, you know? So anyway, hopefully that's helpful. So appreciate you all. Hopefully this time here has been worth it for you and you've gotten value out of being here. And again, if you want to join us as soon as our training tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow morning, it's going to be the link in the description, or go to prophecyapp.com/themachine to get in. I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening. Thanks so much for tuning in. Happy Thursday. Do enjoy. Glad to see some of the wins and the profits people are having. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.